Hi guys, Adam here from Safeguarding You. Sorry I can't be with you today, but we've been working with Liam, Jamie, and the team at SMJ on a game-changing new safeguarding initiative to help you, its member clubs, better manage your safeguarding responsibilities. I'm sure you all know about safeguarding in some degree, but I'm just here to reinforce why we do what we do. Sadly, the threats are real. If you're paying attention and you follow the news, these stories appear far too often in our community, in our schools, and in our sporting environment. So, sadly, the threats are real. This is something we have to take more seriously. And a damning stat that came out of Victoria University study was that 82% of children experience violence in community sport, be that psychological, physical, or sexual. So, this is something we have to take seriously. Not to mention, it's the law, and clubs simply must do better at this. And we've been put on notice. In last year, to my knowledge, there were 4 clubs that have been sued by law firms around mishandling concussion, and obviously concussion is a subset of safeguarding. So, what are we talking about here? The VCSS, or the Victorian Child Safe Standard, is the new legislation and regulation that is enforced across Victoria that requires for-profit, non-profit organisations to comply with a set of standards. It's regulated by the CCYP, or what is the Commission for Children and Young People. And localised into footy, we're following the AFL Safeguarding Implementation Guide, which sets out what we should do now, what we should do next, and then what we should do again and ongoing to embed safeguarding into the culture and fabric of our clubs. And why do we do this? Well, to ensure that the kids' voices are heard and that they know that it's heard. We're about minimising club risk. It's about building trust with families, with stakeholders, with kids, and the broader community. And ultimately, so that we can grow participation. And that's the carrot in this. It's not just a big stick. And how do we do it? Well, it's a whole of club approach. Yes, CSOs are responsible for this, but they must be supported by their executive and their committee to support more widely the officials and the volunteers in and around our communities. And so, why safeguarding? Well, it's to ensure that children and young people are safe from accidents and injuries during training and play, bullying and harassment from other young people or adults in and around the footy club, and physical, sexual, or emotional harm, abuse, and neglect. That's the high level of what we're trying to achieve. And it's not all, if you think of safeguarding as a spectrum, at one end, at the real bad end, you've got child sexual abuse. Well, it's a spectrum. So down the other end, you've got things like extreme weather. And these are things that we can very much control. And often extreme weather is an example of one that gets forgotten about in training or in game days. So it's about understanding what are the risks to our players, to our kids, and therefore to our club, and making sure that we're aware of it and that we implement it to the best of our ability. Our objectives now and forever is to reduce the likelihood of harm or abuse of a child or a young person, is to increase the likelihood of knowing if a child or young person has experienced harm or abuse, and it's to increase the organisation's ability or the club's ability to respond appropriately if a child or young person has experienced harm or abuse. Some of those types of harm or abuse and the things that we need to be on the lookout for, whether it's CSOs, executive committees, coaches, TMs, trainers. These are the things that we should all be looking for: physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, and exposure to family or domestic violence. Something I'm sure some of you have had to deal with through the lens of AVOs or IVOs. We need to be on the lookout for these things. And how do we do that? Well, following on from the AFL's Child Safeguarding Implementation Guide, we've developed a program and a platform to help clubs and leagues implement, monitor, improve, and continuously improve their safeguarding standards following the now, next, and again approach that the AFL have recommended to clubs to follow. How it works? Well, very soon you'll see from the league a link to a website where you'll be able to start a program where you do an assessment. You get a risk report, which shows you where are your high, medium, and low risks based on your assessment. You get an action management module, which gives you recommendations and helpful resources to address, remediate, or improve the areas that you now know that you can improve. And it's about continuous improvement. It's ongoing. Importantly, it's also about transitioning that knowledge base to the next committee, because we're not all around forever. Obviously, committees move on. And how do you transfer that knowledge base, particularly around safeguarding, to the next CSO or the next president? Well, this platform's a really a good way to do that. It's a proactive approach around understanding and assessing where are you at right now against the given standards. It's about measuring and identifying the gaps in your club so that you can remediate risks and improve in areas. And it's about reporting to different stakeholders and then repeating the process. It's an ongoing process, continuous improvement. We can always do better. And so the platform's there to continue to revisit and revive whatever standards you need. Also, there's an incident management module in there, which is a game changer for us to around systematically improving incidents so that Mondays and Tuesdays aren't such a chaotic mess for many clubs. Importantly, also, we're introducing a CSO network or a Child Safety Officer network where all of the CSOs from clubs will come together within the league for an online meeting once every month or 2 months where we get to share our challenges, our objectives, our best practices so that we're collectively uplifting safeguarding standards across the league. And importantly, the executives, the committee members, and the relevant stakeholders in your club are very much invited to participate in this network, so that the CSOs aren't sitting in silos and isolated to some degree. We're also working on concussion. As you're probably aware, the concussion guidelines from the AFL and the AIS around community sport are very clear now. There's some challenges in overcoming the underreporting that we've seen directly last year as a result of these guidelines. So we've also got a program that we'll be talking more about and welcoming clubs to participate in. And so that's it. We could go on in much more detail. We won't do that today. We'll let you get back to all the other sessions, but you'll see more from me. You'll see more from us on this. We really welcome you to participate. All the best for a great day and for a cracking season 2025. Good luck to everyone. Thanks. Bye now.